Hi YouTube, today I'm going to show you how to make these crochet 3D skulls. The things that you're going to need for this tutorial will be some white yarn, also a crochet hook. I'm using a size B, but I've also used a size E in the past, so that would work as well. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and a needle. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a magic circle. In order to do that, I'm going to wrap my yarn around my fingers twice. I'm going to take the yarn between my two fingers, and then I'm going to pull up a loop between the two loops that I made. Then I'm going to chain one, and now I'm going to crochet 4 more times in the circle. Okay, now that I have my 4 stitches done, I'm going to close the circle. So first I'm going to pull on the end a little bit, and now the circle that moved, I'm going to pull from the end closest to the tail and close that other circle up. And now to close the second one, I'm just going to pull the tail closed. And now I have my circle completed. So since I'm only doing a half circle instead of a full circle, I'm going to keep going back the way that I came instead of going in around. So I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to turn the work around. And in this row, I'm going to add one every stitch. So so this counts as my first stitch, and in the same space, I'm going to add another stitch. And then in the next space, I'm going to add another stitch. So I'm going to increase every stitch. And the next one, first stitch, and now increase, add another stitch. And on the last spot, add another stitch, increase. Okay, and now I have the beginning of my half circle. So to get up to the next row, I'm going to chain up, then I'm going to single crochet and increase every other stitch this time. So this counts as my first stitch, so in the next space, I'm going to pull up and single crochet, and then I'm going to increase. And then in the next space, just one stitch, then in the next one, increase again. 1 and 2. Then in the next space, just one stitch, next one, 1 and 2. And then in the last space, just one stitch. Then I'm going to chain up and turn the work around. And now in the next row, I'm going to increase every third stitch. So here's my first, and now my second, and now on my third stitch, I'm going to increase. I'm going to continue doing that until the end of the row. So I've gotten to the end of my second row. I'm going to increase another row, so I'm going to chain up. And now I'm going to increase every fourth stitch. So here's my first, second, third, and on the fourth stitch, I'm going to increase. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then increase. So I've gotten to the end of this row, so I'm going to chain up, turn the work around, and now I'm going to increase every fifth stitch. So for this row, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then on the 5th stitch I'm going to increase, and I'm going to keep doing that till the end of the row, just like I've been increasing. So now at the end of this row, I'm going to continue to crochet for another 5 rows without increasing. So I'm going to chain up, and then I'm just going to single crochet 1 in every space. And I'm going to continue doing this for 4 more rows after this one. So I've gotten to the end of 5 rows of single crochet. So to get to the next row, I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to decrease every 5th stitch. So I have my first stitch, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one, I'm going to pull up a loop, and then in the next stitch, I'm going to pull up another and crochet them both together. And I'm going to continue doing this till the end of the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th, pull up a loop in the next, and crochet together. Now I've gotten to the 6th stitch, so I'm going to pull up, chain 1 to go to the next row. I'm going to single crochet once on the next stitch, and here I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to line up the 2 corners of the front, and I'm going to find the 2 middle stitches. So 5 more stitches, and then the 6th stitch I'm going to decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in the 5th, in the 6th and the 7th stitch, I'm going to pull up a loop and crochet them together. And then I'm going to chain 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then at the second to last stitch, I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop and single crochet, and then do that again in the last stitch. And now I have a place to put my eyes. So now I'm going to chain up to get to the next row, and then I'm just going to single crochet all the way around until I get to the next corner. I mean the other corner. So to get up to the next row, I'm going to chain 1, turn the work around, and single crochet across. So I'm going to chain up to get to the next row, and then I'm going to single crochet 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to fold my piece together again, just to make sure that I know where the middle is. And then I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to continue crocheting on the opposite side of where my current stitch is. it actually is 6 stitches away. So you could just count 6 stitches, pull up a loop, and single crochet until the end of the row. Now I have 2 eyes and a nose. So I'm going to chain up to the next row and then turn the work around, and then I'm going to just single crochet to the next corner. So I'm going to chain up and turn the work around. Continue single crocheting across the front until the opposite corner. So now that I've gotten to this corner, I'm going to go around the back of the head and finish the back out. So I'm going to chain 1 to add a corner, and then in the same stitch I'm going to single crochet and then go all the way around the back of the head. So now that I've gotten to this corner, I'm going to chain 1 and increase that stitch just to emphasize that corner. And then I'm going to stitch 7 more, single crochet 7 more. And then I'm going to increase again. So I'm going to add 2 more stitches, and then after that, on the 3rd stitch, I'm going to increase again. And now I'm going to continue to a single crochet until I get to the end of this side. And in this last stitch, I'm going to add a corner by chaining 1 and then adding another stitch. So to the back of the head, I'm going to actually start closing the back off. And to do that, I'm going to decrease every 5th stitch. So I've got 1 already. There's 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th stitch, I'm going to pull up a loop in both the stitches and then crochet them together. I'm going to continue doing that all around the back of the head. So pull up a loop in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and crochet together. So now I'm just going to single crochet another row on the back of the head until I get to the other side of the jaw. So I've gotten to the end again. I'm going to chain 1 and stitch 1 into the same space so that I can emphasize that corner. And then I'm going to crochet along until I get to the opposite corner again. So I've gotten to the last stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and add a corner again. So I've gotten to the last stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and add a corner again. I'm going to add 1 more row around the back of the head. So at the end of this row, I'm going to chain one and add another corner. And then I'm going to continue along and do elongate the jaw a little bit more. So first I'm going to add a corner, and then I'm going to continue to crochet around the back of the head. So I'm going to add another corner, and single crochet across, and when I get to the middle I'm going to increase again. So I'm at the space that is on one side of the bottom of the nose, so I'm going to increase there, and then I'll increase again on the other side of the nose. So right here, I'm going to increase again. And then I'm going to continue to the opposite corner. And then I'm going to add another corner. And then I'm going to continue to single crochet until I get to the top of the other side. So now that I've gotten to this corner, I'm just going to chain one and then slip stitch down. And I'm going to pull this loop so that it's bigger so that I don't lose my place. And I'm going to fold both sides of the cheekbones so that they look like this. So to do that, I've got one side done already, as you can see. So to do that, I'm going to fold from the bottom of the nose down to the corner of the mouth. And I'm going to leave a little bit of both sides like that. And I'm just going to press them together until it makes a little bit of a line. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And now I'm going to put my hook back in that loop. Let me just refold that to make sure that it stays where I want it to be. And then I'm going to put my hook into that corner. And then I'm going to put it into that corner that I just folded. I'm going to pull a loop through both of those corners. And then slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain one, and in that same corner that I was just in, I'm just going to pull up a loop and single crochet. And then in this space right here, next to where that first stitch is, I'm going to pull up a loop and single crochet. So now there's the bottom of the jaw. I'm going to pull up a loop and turn the work around, and then I'm going to single crochet one more time into that corner and into the corner of the other piece. And then single crochet, And now to do the other side, I'm going to chain one and make a corner here. And then I'm just going to go around the back to the other side of the jaw. So I've gotten to that corner, I'm going to chain one and then slip stitch down. Then I'm going to turn the work around, chain one more, and put my hook through that corner. And then at the fold that I made, I'm going to put my hook through at the very edge on that corner. Then I'm going to pull my loop through both. And then I'm going to single crochet. And then I'm going to chain one, turn the work around, insert my hook into that corner on the inner side, and once again through the bottom, pull up a loop, and single crochet. So it should look something like this, and on the back something like this.